Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Tai Chi Zero is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. This is the story of an extraordinary person who is determined to learn a specialized form of Kung Fu to save his life despite the rejections and challenges he faces. The film begins with a war between the Qing army and the Truth Cult. Among them, an extraordinary warrior named Liu Chan was nicknamed the Monster because of the small horn protruding from his temple and his strange attitude when the sect was surrounded by cavalry. Another soldier, Nan, drives Luchan crazy by beating his horn. Luchan alone easily defeated the cavalry, but his strength was depleted and he lost consciousness. After the battle ended, Luchan's strange horn distinguished him from the others from the moment he was born. Even though he was born into a wealthy family, his father did not care much for him. It is his mother who takes care of him and tries to give him a better life one day. He was watching a group of street performers eating when another child took his food. He couldn't get it back and was knocked unconscious by the child Luchan, who fell to the ground. He suddenly gained great strength, large enough to fight back and defeat the street performing group, Bully. This was noticed by street performer leader Zhao Kanping, who sensed great potential in him, while Luchan's mother was accused of stealing her husband. Even though she did that to bring a better future for her son, but she was still beaten by her husband's men and was left to fend for herself. Died outside the house, but Zhao Kanping, who followed him from behind, explained that Liu Chan was naturally proficient in Kung Fu, and the strange horn on his forehead was called the three flowers in the crown when he take your last breath. Luchan's mother advised her son to only be good at one field, Kung Fu, after she passed away. Liu Chan was sent to prison. He turns out to be the leader of the cult of divine truth who disguises himself as a street performer to scout for potential talents until now. The day an exhausted Luchan was brought to the camp and Dr. Dong was assigned to treat him. Dong told him that he would die if he continued to fight because the berserk regime was draining his energy instead of making him stronger. He must balance his energy and project it into a gentler and calmer version of Kung Fu. He advised learning Kung Fu style from Chenjigu village. Others in the camp mocked Dong's suggestion, but Luchan seems to be serious, and that night, the camp is attacked by the kingdom. The Luchan army survives the raid, recalling Dong's last message to go to Chenjiagu and introduce himself to Master Chen Chang Sing so he can learn Chen Kung Fu after many days of adventure. Finally, he also reached the village, but the villagers did not welcome him warmly. He expressed his intention to learn Chen Kung Fu. The villagers always responded that they don't teach it to foreigners. Then Liu Chan was hit by a steam engine controlled by Fang Shijing, and his fiancée Yun Yong went to see him and asked if he was him. Okay, she told him to contact her if she could help in the evening. Xi Jing and Yong hold a meeting with the townspeople. Xi Jing, a local who studied in Western countries, was recently appointed. The head of the railway project was responsible for building the railway line that passed through Chen village. The trains would transport sugar and goods from the west in exchange for local herbal products from Chen village. He tried to convince the villagers that Western technology would create a better future for their products by installing electric light bulbs around the room, but it short-circuited and exploded, leaving the village elders disappointed the next day. Luchan meets his friend Nyong and his apothecary. He asks her to take him to Master Chan with the intention of learning Kung Fu. She asks him to go there to ride Wuliang. Luchan goes there quickly, but he not seeing him confused. He turned back to his friend Nyong and explained that the great master could not be found. Yun Yong replied that a grandmaster could be anywhere. They are not allowed to teach Chen Kung Fu with strangers. Liu Chan gets angry at this statement and attacks Nyong, but she easily defeats him. An old villager took the Luchan and cured him. He deduces that Luchan is dying and that his determination to learn Chen Kung Fu is motivated by his desire to recover from his illness. Meanwhile, Xi Jing despairs when Chen's villagers refuse to cede their land to the railway project, even though he is a distant cousin of Chen's family and grew up in the village. He was treated like a foreigner and wasn't even allowed to learn Chen Kung Fu. After he returned to Chen village with the intention of helping people after being educated in the West, everyone always looked down on him. He compared himself to his friend Nyong, the daughter of Grandmaster Chen, who was loved by everyone in the village. The next day, Luchan challenged Yun Yong to another fight. In a kung fu battle, Yun Yong beats him again and then banishes him from the village while Zi Jing negotiates with his company's shareholders. He calls Claire, a representative of the East India Trading Company, to come and trade with the villagers. Lu Chan is still determined to learn from Chen. Kung Fu tried every way to enter the village, but the villagers always beat him. The old villager who seemed most sympathetic to him advised him that he could learn Chin Kung Fu by perfectly imitating the villagers' movements, which made him choose to fight more with the villagers. To be able to observe their movements and imitate them, one day he fought Tofu Brother, a local tofu seller. In the end, he defeated Tofu Brother by imitating Chin Kung Fu. This left the villagers mesmerized after feeling a huge force push him from behind to deliver a huge blow. Luchin knocked unconscious Claire, and 11 Jing returned to the village. While riding a carriage, giant Yun Yong begged 11 Jing not to destroy the village. Even though he was firm in his decision, Claire realizes that Jing's personal attachment to Yong in the village may make him unwilling to destroy the village. Yun Yong brought the matter to the village council of elders, but they refused to take action while Grandmaster Chan was still away. Lu Chan wakes up and his assistant tells him about Troy, who will destroy the village he advised. He broke the machine to save the village and became the village's hero that way. Maybe the villagers were willing to teach him Chin Kung Fu while Zi Jing confessed his love to Claire without both of them knowing. Yun Yong observed them from the roof and then interrupted them. They secretly took the Trojan engine's manual. She sought help from a postal worker to translate the book while Lu Chan and his assistant pondered, came up with a secret plan to infiltrate Troy and destroy it with a carefully calculated plan. Luchin infiltrates the engine and defeats some guards, but has difficulty doing so. Luckily, the syndicate also infiltrated the engine for the same purpose. Then they work together to find the engine's weakness. A surviving soldier sets off an emergency alarm, forcing Jing and Claire to examine the engine, although Jing warns the youths that they will be enemies if she destroys the engine. Alliance, which remains determined to destroy it, explodes. Claire is mortally wounded and dies in Jing's arms, causing him to vow to avenge her by ravaging Chen's village. Lu Chan and Yong rush to the village, where he discovers that his mysterious assistant all this time is actually Grandmaster Chang, the original intended Grandmaster. Used a stranger Lu Chan to destroy the Troy engine so that no Chin villagers would participate in destroying it, but since Yong also played a role in destroying the engine, it was certain that an army would to their villages to have them destroyed. Prepare the villagers for the upcoming battle under the guidance of Master Chen. He advises them not to hurt their enemies, just to scare them away. Lu Chan also participated in helping the villagers. He stood in front of the young people to save her from a bullet that hit him. Demonstrates imitating Chin Kung Fu to defeat the army using carefully planned tactics. The villagers are victorious and the rest of the army flees. Luchin, seriously injured, is brought to the council of elders as they debate whether or not to punish him for stealing Chin Kung. Fu Yung defended him by saying that he had openly imitated Chin Kung Fu by fighting with local villagers and that the villagers had followed him. However, the elders remained firmly determined that no foreigner should learn Chin Kung Fu after his father's advice. Yung exclaimed that she could solve the problem by marrying Lu Chan, making him her husband, and changing her status to a non-foreigner in Chin village during the wedding ceremony. Two mysterious strangers are seen entering the village. They refuse to change direction and insist on entering the village despite being warned by a villager that a battle will break out between them. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.